Alright, so here we are, resurfacing brake drums for a trailer. They're kind of rough, but you know, save the customer a little bit of money. These things are expensive. You can buy cheap ones, but they're no good. And when you buy good Dexter or something like that, or you know, you're talking folding money. So this trailer isn't super nice, so we're just going to resurface these ones. As you can see, there's a little bit of like flaky rust. This is one of the most important surfaces right here, which is your magnet surface. It's got a pretty good groove right here and all through here. If this isn't smooth and you put new magnets in there with new backing plates, which is what we're doing, it won't grab right, and the brakes are going to work like half of what they're supposed to. So it's best to resurface or replace the drums when you do brakes. So what we're going to do, I have a wheel spacer, 8 by 6.5 wheel spacer, and I drove the studs out of the side that would go towards the wheel, and I chuck it in the lathe. I put in 4 lugs, hold this on 4 lugs, and chuck it in the lathe. And what we're going to do, even a carbide bit, even a carbide cutter will, it doesn't like rust. It'll totally screw it up. So what we're going to do to start is we're going to start with the grinder. We're going to grind off this surface so we got a nice clean surface to push against to get it nice and square, because it's not perfectly square right now. Then I'm going to hit this surface with the grinder, and I'm going to hit this surface with the grinder. As little rust as possible on the cutter, because otherwise we'll dull the cutter and then it'll be a pain in the ass. So I'm going to do that, and you just watch me do it. And don't try this at home, because you got a bunch of spinning dangerous stuff here. You get wound up in that, and you're only going to need one glove for the rest of your life if you live through it. So follow all the warning labels. Don't follow me. Just this is educational purposes only. Alright, now we can go ahead and actually cut it. Some people would just do that and call it good, and it might be, but not with me, it isn't. So if you look right there, you can see between the spacer and the chuck, you know, it's not perfect. So you want to make sure it's perfect, because I mean, you wouldn't feel it on a trailer, but if you were doing it on a car drum or a car rotor, if it's out around like that, it's going to shake. It's going to shake something awful. So you take this bearing that I made, this little tool, and you just kind of push against it. to seat it good and thoroughly in the chuck. See, now it's turning a lot more true. Now we're going to shut it down. We're going to tighten the chuck. Just double check it, because, you know. Now we can go ahead and start it back up again. I'm going to change this out with the boring bar. Okay. I'm going to take the 1/8 inch Allen wrench. There we go. Blow them out. You know what? We'll start with the braking surface. May as well. That way I only got to change this a couple times. I already have it set up, going the right direction. We're going to bring that in. It just about touches. Now we're going to bring it out to where it... Let's bring it in a little bit more. This thing had a lot of rust on one side. So that's... The brake drum is actually turning true. But because of the rust in one spot, it's going to act like it's not. So, turn that cutter out until you can hear that it is cutting all the way around. Alright, that's probably pretty good. Now we'll throw this in gear and send it. You can see a little rusty spot right there. We're going to have to take another bite. But we'll continue this cut. And we'll go back for another one. This one we're going to have to take off quite a bit on the magnet surface. Because it's got a pretty good groove in it. Maybe like 50 thousandths of a groove. So I'm probably going to have to take 2 or 3 cuts. We don't want to take off too much because your radius of your shoe needs to be able to wear and fit the radius of the drum. So, and we're not going to mic it. We're not going to measure it. It's just trailer brakes. It's going to work pretty good. Way better than it did. Okay, now throw it out of gear, bring her back in, so it just touches the end there. Okay, bring her out a little bit more. We're not going much, maybe like 5 thousandths, which is a total of about 10 thousandths. Yeah, hear it? That's cutting nice right there, but we'll see when we get to the bad spot if it's still cutting all the way around. We're not cutting much out. Just truing it up. And if we have a little spot on the edge that's not quite touching, that's okay with me. I'm happy with that. I'd rather leave more material in there than cut out to try to fix a spot out on the end where the shoes don't even touch. See, a couple spots on the end that it's not quite touching, but that's okay. That's all right. All right. So we throw that out of gear, bring this forward, blow out the set screws. Now, take this loose, put it in going this way. We got to leave quite a bit of cutter hanging out because when we bring this in, it's going to get close to that. So we want to make sure that we're not going to hit this against that. It'll screw up the end of the boring bar. Okay, we got that nice and tight. Crank this in a little bit. Now, there's a high spot out here and a low spot in here, and then a high spot here. So we're going to want to start in the lowest point, which is right in this groove right here. We want to bring it into where it, or maybe, you know what, maybe we'll just start in the middle. Actually, you know what, we'll start on the outside, because I'd hate to hit the outside and break the cutter because I'm taking too big of a bite. So alright, go in just a little bit more. Alright, now if I throw that into gear, oh, wait a minute, I forgot to pull the knob. Alright, see that? That's a beautiful sound. See, that's your original meat right there. So I know it's turning true because you can hear it. You can hear it going nice and true. Now we're going to hit a spot that's low. We're going to carry on through to the center because there's another higher spot in the middle. I'd rather take the time rather than have it hit a really high spot and break the cutter. See? There we go. See that? There's a real deep spot right there. It's going to take 2 or 3 cuts. The bearings were all nice and packed when I took this apart, so I just took it off the trailer, cleaned some of the grease out so it wouldn't go spraying out all over the place, and jammed a paper towel in there to keep the metal filings out and the rusty dust from the grinding. And then I'll just take that paper towel off and I'll slam it right back on the spindle and call it good. Grease it up. I'll show you we got some brand new brakes with brand new magnets, which is why we have to fix this surface, because if you have a deep groove, there, you know, it's how would I describe it? You have less surface area, less friction area, and you figure that lever that applies the brake shoes is probably applies the pressure 10 times. 10 times what the friction that's here is what it applies to there. So, and that's rough. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not really 10 times, but either way, any loss in friction here is too much. So, see what I mean about about keeping the bar away from there? See when they cast these drums, they cast this low spot right there. And look how it's all, you know, it's not perfectly uniform. Give her a little more. And we'll throw it in the gear again. Look at all that fucking snow. Look at that snow. Iron snow. And we're still not going to be in the low spot there. Closer. But we'll continue on through. Got 12-year-old Tommy over there putting the brake shoes, the backing plates on while we're doing this. I already did one drum, so there's this one. Then we can go ahead and put that side together. We might get a little rain today, so I think we might just do one side. As you can see, my machine shop is right next to the road. It's literally a trailer. I got this lathe. I have no place to put it inside, but I keep it covered up and keep it oiled. Keep all the rust off it as best I can. Beautiful machine. Unfortunately, nowadays nobody wants an old machine like this, because everybody wants to be able to push buttons. You know, buy a CNC machine that you spend as much as a house on, and nobody knows how to use this shit anymore. So whatever, I was happy to get this for the price that I got it. And it's 3-phase. I got an old generator out back that runs it. Old 45,000 watt Onan. A little overkill, but we'll take a little more. We'll do it again. Got an old 45,000 watt Onan that runs this 200 and I think I got it set up for 250. 253 phase. That extension cord right there is, it's 120 volt end, but it is very much not 120 volts. And then I got a remote here. It's just a eBay winch controller. That's what starts and shuts off my generator. So, and I can do it from all the way out here, a couple hundred feet away. Oh, we're so close. Look at that. I have to take one more bite. But I love machining. I love that, this whole, and yeah, I know this is just basic backyard, you know, but actually, maybe it's not backyard, maybe it's more front yard. My neighbor hates me. But yeah, I figured I'd take this video as more of an informational thing. This is my buddy's trailer. I'm fixing it for him. That's where we're in by the lugs. That's why it's making that noise. And if you're wondering what's under the tarp right there, that's a Bridgeport. With Bridgeport J head. Nothing fancy. Alright, so I'm gonna, rather than wasting all the time, I'm gonna reverse. I probably should have shut it off for that. I'm gonna reverse so it cuts from the inside out. Take a little bit more and send it. And And whatever it is, I'm not making another cut. It's going to be way better than it was. Great. I think somebody's stopping to talk to me. I'm going to screw up my video. Or they were slowing down to look at this weird camera thing on my head and thinking I looked weird. They'd be right. I'm probably the only idiot that uses a head mount. Try to stay as steady as I can so I don't shake you all over the place. Once I get done with this cut, I'll take a walk over there. I'll show you the new brakes that I got. Amazon is great. You can get these brakes for these trailers relatively cheap, and you can have them the next day. I mean, I ordered these yesterday, I believe. I ordered them yesterday, and I had them today by noon. I thought it was going to be closer to 6 or 7 o'clock, but nope, they were here by noon. So you can get these are 12 by 2s, 2-inch wide, 12-inch. You can get the 10 by 2s. You can get all of them off Amazon. You can get these hubs. They're kind of cheap. I don't know if I'd recommend them, but you can get them. You can get whatever you want. You can get it off Amazon. It's great. I'm an eBay guy, but Amazon has been doing me well. I've been happy the last couple months with being able to get parts very quickly from Amazon. There's a warehouse, an Amazon warehouse, not very far from me, 2 towns over. So that's probably why Amazon has been so good for me. Now, we still got one little line right in there, but you know what? I don't care. It's gonna be good enough. I probably could cut this faster, put the feed rate up, but I'd rather take my time and have it more perfect. All right, we'll turn that off, back this out. This is my makeshift alignment. I just carved it out of a piece of steel, and this is a random ball bearing out of an alternator repair kit. So I don't spend a lot of money around here. All right, let me turn that off. Let's go around to the so we got, these are the old ones, as you can see, big grooves in the magnets. This one moves, but the other ones were all seized up. The shoes are starting to delaminate. You can see it from the other side that they're starting to delaminate. So we got brand new. See, these magnets are nice and flat. So if you have grooves, that's not going to grab very well. And this is almost like a friction material here that helps grab it and make that shoe swell out so the drum grabs it and tightens up the brake and pushes it around and tightens against the pin. Same thing for backwards. It'll apply it going backwards too. We got to adjust them up. I usually adjust them before I slide the drum on. I'll adjust them up. That way I don't have to try to lay on the ground and do it. As it is, I got to lay on the ground and hook the wires up. But whatever, that's pretty much it. I hope you've enjoyed, and like and subscribe. I want to make a lot more videos. I want to try to share what I do. You know, everybody likes to share where they use their $100,000 piece of equipment that you or I could never afford to do some crazy stuff. Well, I want to show you what a, you know, $2,500 lathe and you know, what I can do with that. You know, I do all kinds of stuff. I do anywhere from fixing lawnmowers to fixing, you know, V12 cat engines. I mean, I do it all. I rebuild transmissions. I do everything. I don't know. So I want to show you what I do. Like I said, like and subscribe, and I want to make more videos. So show me some support, please. All right. I'll catch you later.